recording. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I'm recording now. So it's my mom's laptop. I'm going to turn it on, and you'll see that it is having a major boot issue. So I don't know if you can see it coming up now. And it's not all that great, but I mean, it's something, I guess. Let me see. Can I can't get my video bigger. I would like to see. All right, so we get an error, needs to restart, had a critical process died, right? So that's the stop code, is the critical process died. And now it's going into our preparing automatic repair mode. And diagnosing the PC. And then it says, hey, this is really messed up. I can't do anything with it. What do you want to do? Restart or advanced options? So I'm going to go under the advanced options. And then here are several advanced options, right? So we have the continue, use the device, troubleshoot, or turn off the PC. I'm going to go under that troubleshoot device, and you can reset your PC, where you can reinstall Windows, and you can either keep or remove your files. I'm probably going to be using that option eventually, but she doesn't have a backup. She had been not doing her backups. She didn't have her backup device on there. So the first thing I'm going to do is go under advanced options, and I'm going to go to our command prompt. Actually, hold on. I'm going to take a external drive and plug that in. And now I'm going to go to our command prompt. And from here, I'm going to make sure first that it's found the external drive. I'm going to do disk part, right? D-I-S-K-P-A-R-T, disk part. And it's going to go into our disk partition. And I'm going to list the disk. And so it does find disk 0, which should be the hard drive of 931 gigs. And then our disk 2, disk 1 has no media, which is a DVD drive. Disk 2 is the external drive of 1.8 terabytes or 2 terabytes. And I want to confirm this, so I'm going to list volume. All right, so yes, indeed. So we've got several. The DVD-ROM drive is listed as E. We've got a recovery volume, volume 1, which is healthy, but volume 2 is the C drive. It's the 930 gigs, so I was right, it was disk 0. And then the F drive has a NTFS partition also. I'm not sure where that is. Oh, that's 100. That's just a 1 gig. So that's probably a vendor drive. And then finally, the last volume 6, is our Toshiba external drive, drive G. So now I know my letters and the volumes. So the C drive is the C drive. It didn't going into this diagnostics mode. Sometimes the drive letters can change. Yeah, I've seen it. So I just like to verify and validate what drive letters I'm dealing with. So then now I can exit, right? Because I know C is my C drive and G is my external drive. So now if I go, because right now I'm in the X drive because I booted from the recovery. So my C drive is unlocked. So I'm going to go to my C drive and then change directory to C users. Oh, okay. Yeah, got to extra C. CD users. I know it's hard to see. Um, and then owner is the username because I've got default and public. So what I'm going to want to do is, let's see here. I'm probably going to copy. It's been too long since I've used DOS, but
I can see nothing, sir.
you can't, right? That's why I'm telling you what I'm doing as much as I can. Yeah, I mean it's really hard. Yeah, because it's too small a print, right? But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of the user files over to the external drive. I'm going to get that started, and then I'll show you some other things that I would do. But for right now, I can do that. But basically, I'm going to copy the files over to the external drive. So basically, booting. Sorry. Booting from the recovery. So if that didn't work, if it were having issues and it wouldn't come up on the recovery, what I could have done is create a boot disk or USB. So let me do this. I'm going to share my screen again. But so let me go ahead and I'm going to plug in a USB drive. And I'm going to connect it to my Windows machine. Go CMD, run as administrator. You can see this, correct?
Yes.
You can see my screen? Okay, good. So I'm going to do my disk part like I did before, right? And then I'm going to list my disks, right, just like I did over there. The USB I just plugged in is a 16 gig, so that's disk 7. So I'm going to select disk 7. All right, so now I've got that disk selected. So what I'm going to do is, had this not been able to boot into recovery mode to get to a disk prompt, I'm creating a USB, bootable USB, that I could then use that to get into this recovery mode and then get to the drive and copy the files over. Because that, to me, that's the most important, is getting her files off and getting her pictures and things like that she wants to make sure I get all that copied to the external drive. Then I'll try and work and figure out what's wrong. I probably won't spend a lot of time. If I can't find out real quick, I'm just going to reformat it, just reformat it and reload Windows on it. Because sometimes it's just not worth it. But I'm hoping it's not a hardware issue, but it very well could be. But so I'm going to create a boot USB. So now I've got it selected. You clean it. Well, yeah, and then so now it's clean. And then I want to create a partition primary. So we need to have a partition, a boot partition. So it needs to be a primary partition. So I'm going to create a partition on this USB drive that I put in here. And then I'm going to make it active. I'll post this in a Word document in this week's folder, the steps that I'm doing here. So then now it's an active drive partition. So then I need to format it. Format file systems equals. I'm going to do NTFS because Windows now has very large files, and FAT32 won't work because the files are larger than 4 gig, some of the files. So I'm going to do an NTFS format. Let's see here. When we do, that'll be next Thursday, the 9th. And then I'll do, so I'm formatting the USB drive, I'm formatting it as NTFS. I'm going to do a quick so that it actually doesn't take long, because if you do it the normal way, it takes a long time. Okay, so now we've got it formatted. So now, let me go here. Actually, what I need to do is, let's see, eject. All right, so what I need to do is find the ISOs, right? Where is that? No. All right, what I'm looking for is, there we go. So I have an ISO here. So we had the ISOs that we created our VMs with at school and all that. But here is an ISO. What you can do is you mount the ISO, because this is a bootable. This has everything to boot from. It's just an image of a DVD. Now that I've mounted the ISO, it created this F drive. So I'm going to eject it again just so you see that. So if I go to my C drive, right now there's no F drive, right? I'm going to go to my C drive, my ISO, and I'm going to mount it. It's going to mount it as an F drive. I'm just going to highlight all of it, copy, and I'm going to go to my G drive, which is my newly formatted USB that I just set up in disk partition. And I'm going to paste everything over to here. And then once that's done, I'll have a bootable USB drive that I can then troubleshoot and do things. I think you can also create it with the Windows Media Creation tool, but this is just another way that you can create a bootable USB. And then once again, once you get in and boot, go to the DOS prompt, figure out what drives you have. You can, as you can see, you can attach an external drive and then copy files over. But then also you can start running troubleshooting stuff. But for today, that's all we're going to do, because I need to copy off the files before I go and do any other advanced troubleshooting. Just because I need to make sure we have all the drives, all the files off, and so I don't want to risk losing the files. But so that's in a nutshell how I would at least start. Is try to gain access and get the files, because that, as the book mentioned and as I've mentioned before, making sure you have backups of the files before you really do any advanced troubleshooting is like the #1 priority usually, because you don't want to lose anything. I know that was a little fast, but I will, like I said, the boot up process, I'll share that, or creating the boot USB. I'll put that in a Word document and share that with everyone in this week's folder, as well as just the steps. I'll try and write up just the steps of how I would go and find the files and copy them over, what I did there. But Yeah, it's a little something anyway. But maybe next week after I've got these files copied over, I can share with you what I found and go from there. Any other questions that anyone has? Because regarding the class, course, or anything. No? Okay. Well, I wish I could have gone I wish it could have gone better with the troubleshooting. I wish the camera could have really zoomed in where I could share that screen, but it's kind of hard to share a screen of a dead machine. All right. Well, if nobody has anything, that's all I do have today. Appreciate everybody, and hopefully you're staying safe and don't work too hard on everything. But I do hope everybody is staying safe and doing all right. And I'm always available. Just email me or hit me up with Google Hangouts if you have any questions on anything too. Yeah. You asked a question in Hangouts. Was it today? Yeah. Oh, for after class. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. I was like, well, wait a minute, what? Okay. Yeah, no problem, Duran. We can jump on after this. All right. And yeah, and if you have any questions or anything, please feel free. And Valerie, if you have any questions about online stuff, I'll try and help too for you teaching your kids. So I may know, may not, but you feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. We'll have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. I
All
have
right.
one last question.
Oh, sure.
Uh, I want to know how that Poctorio things work exactly. Like it capture only my video, or I don't know what it captured. Like all my surroundings, or only my video, or my desktop. If I open another page, or
Right. So it depends. It depends on the settings that the instructor has set. My settings that I have set right are the minimums. Mine are well pretty close to the minimums. The audio and video are minimum. So whatever your video camera sees, it's capturing. Whatever your microphone is hearing, it captures. Those are the minimums. You can't change it. Those are required.
yes, sir. Because we are in home, like at home we have a children, we have a family. Sometimes they talk outside, so it's very hard for us to give the exam on that without outside noise. So we have some outside noise.
Yeah, and the outside noise is fine. What it is if they hear outside noise, it might flag it to where we review it, and then because it doesn't do anything, it just tells it's got algorithms and that, and it'll tell me as an instructor which ones that I might need to review. And then I can review them, and then I can judge whether is it a cheating event or not a cheating event. And so I'll be able to hear what it is, and I get to determine what it is, and so you'll be fine. But also it does record. Mine is going to record what you're doing on the screen and what windows are open. Right. I think it forces the windows all to be closed, but that one.
Yeah. Every Poctorio does that. Like it.
Right.
want only one screen to be open and only one tab should open at the time of exam. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about the outside noise because I have a children. So they
Yeah.
yell.
Yeah, no, that's not going to affect it at all. You'll be fine. If that's just normal family stuff. I mean, it'll just increase your rating, and say that it's potential that something's there. You want to check it out. That's all that'll do. And then it's me that's checking it out. So it's just so don't worry about that. I mean, it's going to happen.
And you said
Yeah.
we have a review on next Thursday
Yes.
for our exam. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
I will do the review next week. Yeah.
Okay,
This
awesome.
on Thursday.
Thanks, sir. That's it. That's my question, and now I'm good. Thank
Okay.
you.
No, you're very welcome. Yeah. Yeah. I do know some instructors require you to have show your ID and then also
Hmm.
scan the room and all that. You don't do that for mine. Those are
Yeah. On my last exam, it's very like I feel very bad because it's my personal, it's my bedroom, and my camera wants to roll on my bedroom. Like I want to show everything on my bedroom, and I didn't like that because I have to
yeah.
show my bedroom, and I don't want to do that in front of camera.
Right. No, right. And I looked at those options and I was like, why would we, I don't need that. Yeah. But
Okay, sir.
some instructors have chosen to do that. But yeah, um, I'm sorry about that. I wish I could do something for you on that. But yeah, I think that's a little much, especially the ID. If you don't know your students by now, I don't know why you would require the ID, uh, but some are just because and a lot of you got to remember this came out about really quickly and not everybody knew how to use it and they just saw the options and so they're just checking off options that they feel will make it secure and so please um, don't uh, get angry at your instructors for checking them off because I mean it is hard to not check them off, because you
Yeah.
want to make sure you got everything ready and set, right? Um,
Yes.
but yeah, so yeah, it's a learning curve for everyone for the most part. So, but yeah, Proctorio is not perfect. I'd rather do the face to face, but uh, it's it's something that we have that we can prove that you were the one that took the exam, and that's basically the big part is we need to be able to prove as instructors that you were the one that took the exam, and then that you weren't cheating, right? I mean, because
Yes.
at least in the room we have a better control over it. Whereas now we have no control. So Proctorio is our control so that we can tell the state that yes, you were the person that did the test.
Okay. And okay, I'll waiting for that review things, and we have exam,
Sure.
so
Thanks.
we'll be fine.
All right. Have a
Yes,
question,
sir.
Fred?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Shree.
You have a good day now.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I have a question about how can we find the records and one like you recording now, how if we hang up, how we can find the recorded.
Right. So what I'll do after this is once the recording is done, because it takes a while to process, I will take it and download it and then upload it to YouTube and then put a link in this week's folder with the video, and then you can watch it off of YouTube.
What about week 10? Can we watch it? Like,
Right, you'll be able to watch it just like any YouTube. Right, it'll be a link. It'll be linked to the video.
but there's no link now. You will put it or
There,
just
there is no link now, right? It's still recording right now, and then when we leave, then about 30 minutes to an hour, the file becomes available to me. It gets done processing on the server, and then I can finally download it, and then upload it to YouTube, and then get you a link. So
Oh,
yeah, give me about, it takes me about an
I
hour,
understand.
2 hours, to get that done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but good question. Yeah. But it will be available today. All right.
Jacob, any question?
What's that?
Is it Mr. Jacob has question?
Jacob. Yeah, he does, but he wants to do it offline in Hangouts.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then I wish you to have a good weekend, and just like I say, reach out to me on Hangouts or email if you have any questions that come up between now and Tuesday. Uh, I'm available. So have a great weekend. Stay safe.
You too.
Thank you.